Have you ever stared at a spreadsheet and just seen a giant wall of numbers? It can be totally overwhelming. So what if we could turn all that confusion into a simple visual story? Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're demystifying one of the most powerful tools for the job, the pie chart.
Yeah, this picture right here, I think we've all been there, just completely drowning in a sea of data. A good pie chart is like a life raft. It helps you pull the most important info out of the chaos and paints a really clear picture. Let's see how it's done.
All right, so every good pie starts with the right ingredients. And for us, our main ingredient is data. So before we can even think about baking, we have to understand what we're working with.
So you've got two main types of data. First, there's qualitative data. The key word there is quality. It's descriptive stuff, things like your favorite color or the brand of your car. It's about what kind, not how many. On the other hand, you've got quantitative data. Just think quantity. This is anything you can count or measure. Your height, how many people are in a room, you name it. One is about descriptions, the other is all about the numbers. It's that simple.
Okay, ingredients sorted. Let's jump ahead for a second and look at a finished pie. I want to show you just how quickly you can understand the main story of a pie chart, literally in a few seconds, once you know what you're looking for.
So check this out. This chart breaks down how fuel is used in a typical home. You can see the different slices, right? There's heating, hot water, cooking, appliances. It's a super simple snapshot of where all that energy is really going.
And this, right here, is the absolute core of what a pie chart does. The whole circle represents 100% of something, in this case, all the fuel used. Each slice is just a piece of that total. And here's the most important takeaway. The biggest slice is always the biggest category. It's that easy.
So let's look at our fuel chart again. Which slice is the biggest? It's heating, right? It just jumps right at you. You didn't need a calculator or a spreadsheet. You just glanced at it. That's the real power of this tool.
Okay, so reading one is a piece of cake. Sorry, couldn't resist. But what if you're the one with the raw data? Let's head into the kitchen. I'm going to walk you through a simple 4-step recipe to build the perfect pie chart every single time. No, really, it's just 4 steps. We start with our numbers, we find the total, we do a tiny bit of math to figure out how big each slice of the pie should be, and then we draw it. Let's do one together, right now.
All right, step 1 is our data table. Let's imagine we asked 30 students how they get to school. And here's what they told us. 9 of them walk, 6 come by car, 11 take the bus, and 4 cycle. These are our raw ingredients.
Step 2, find the total. This is the easy part. We just add up the numbers from our table. So 9 plus 6 plus 11 plus 4 gives us a grand total of 30 pupils. This number, 30, is the whole for our pie.
Okay, now for the clever part. We need to figure out how to turn our 30 students into a 360-degree circle. All we do is divide 360 by our total, which is 30, and that gives us 12. This little number is our magic number. It means every single student in our survey is worth 12 degrees of the final pie chart.
And for the final step, we just use that magic number, 12 degrees. Remember the 9 students who walked? Well, 9 times 12 is 108 degrees. The 6 who came by car, 6 times 12 is 72 degrees. And we just do that for every single category. And you know what's cool? If you add up all those final angles, you get a perfect 360. Our pie is complete.
So theory is one thing, but let's actually put this to the test with a real-world problem. This is where pie charts stop being just a math exercise and become a genuinely useful tool in your life. So let's meet Alex. He's mapped out his budget for his first year of university, and the whole thing totals $20,000. He's used a pie chart, which is smart, but he needs our help to figure out one key detail. How much money is actually going toward books? Okay, so here's Alex's budget. We can see the percentages for rent, food, and tuition, but here's the puzzle. Books and miscellaneous are both just marked with an X. Now, the really important clue here is that since they're both X, their slices of the pie must be the exact same size. So, how do we find out what X is? Well, first, let's just add up the percentages we already know. 22 plus 16 plus 28, that equals 66%. Since the whole pie has to be 100%, the leftover part is 100 minus 66, which is 34%. And because books and miscellaneous are equal, we just split that 34% right down the middle. That gives us 17% for books.
We're almost done. We know 17% of his budget goes to books. Now we just need to figure out what 17% of his total $20,000 budget actually looks like in dollars and cents.
And there it is. 17% of $20,000 is $3,400. That's how much Alex will be spending on books. See? We just used the simple logic of a pie chart to solve a real-life budgeting problem. Pretty cool. All right, you now have all the skills you need to read and build a pie chart. You're basically a pro. But before we finish, I want to show you a very, very common trap people fall into. Knowing this will make you a truly critical thinker when it comes to data.
So here we've got two different pie charts for two different councils, Wessex and Metropolis. Now just take a quick look at the slices for admin. Visually, they look pretty much the same size, don't they?
This leads us to a really crucial question. If those admin slices are the same proportional size, does that mean both councils spent the same actual amount of money on administration? What do you think?
The answer is a huge no, and this is the trap. A pie chart only shows you proportions. It only shows you percentages. It tells you absolutely nothing about the total amount of the pie. That slice for Wessex could be from a $1 million budget, while the same size slice for Metropolis could be from a $10 million budget. Same slice, but a wildly different amount of actual money.
So this leaves us with the number one most important rule of reading pie charts. Don't just look at the slices, you always have to ask about the size of the whole pie. The next time you see one in a news article or report, the very first question that should pop into your head is, what's the total value here? Because without that number, you only have half the story.